The Marble League 2023 qualifiers came through with free anxiety for everyone. Group A was a group of death, while Group B was a toss-up of who was going to lose to the Raspberry Racers and Savage Speeders. We have a fresh batch of teams going to the showdown, full of familiar faces and some new ones. Let's jump right into it. The Balls of Chaos can go from a silver and Neum-clack Wii to nothing but incompetence in a season where they should have been in the showdown, to a season where they are in the showdown. Call it poetic justice for barely squeaking in last year as you barely squeak out this time around. We really thought that there was no way the Balls of Chaos could go down from here, but here we are. On the plus side, 64 points means something in the showdown instead of record low after record low. How does Harmony still have a job? Why put your fans through 1 in 31 Cleveland levels of suffering? You started okay-ish, but then Anarchy went and let the whole team down in the sprint that 2 back-to-back 4th place finishes couldn't get you out from. You were only 1 point behind Mellow Yellow for the 6th spot. And where did that point come from? Being 100th of a second slower than them in pursuit. The gum chewing intensifies as you book another ticket to the basement. We'll see you then. The Jungle Jumpers and missing out on qualifiers by 2 points. Name a better duo. I can rest easy knowing that my unjinx didn't hit and my video is still aging well. Though with half of the field going to the big dance and half not, missing out on qualifying isn't necessarily the sign of a bad team, just a sign of a bad showing. The Jumpers are a bad team. They are just like actual jungles. Destroyed. They weren't exciting. There's nothing flashy about this team. Maybe another run in the showdown will cure what ails them. Or maybe they'll just stay the Jungle Jumpers. Real quick, there looks like a typo in the script. I don't see the snowballs on the list. What do you mean that the snowballs are going to the league?
Hold up.
What do you mean they won their group and clinched a spot after the 3rd event? The snowballs qualified? I didn't know they knew how to do that. So if the snowballs are going, who's in their place? Oh. Damn. This one shocked me and the league. With the reigning MVP, it seemed that the Green Ducks had the wind at their wings, but then they got dropped back to earth and got spit roasted and garlic glazed and hung in a storefront. This is what you get for not giving me the duck statue. Or perhaps this is what I get for calling you a shoo-in and that the snowballs have no chance in hell. This is what happens when you let the Pinkies win the league. Shit goes topsy-turvy and teams swap destinies. It's duck season, but not in the way they wanted. And of course, this gives us rise to the MVP curse because the Hazers missed out following Misty season, and the Green Ducks followed suit after Mallard's run. I figured you were on thin ice after 2020, but I didn't know the fall would happen this hard. How about you don't let 4 of your 5 members fall into the zilch pit and swing wave? Fluke, bad showing or not, I would be worried if I were you. A 2019 podium team with a member coming off of an MVP season suddenly dropping into the showdown does not have a good precedent to it. The showdown won't be a shoo-in, you know. Call this divine retribution to all those who hopped on the bandwagon of the Fruit Circuit prophecy and spammed Limer's 23 champs because stale memes go burr. Luckily for prophecy's sake, the other good Fruit Circuit teams made it, so the Limers can go back to doing nothing in the showdown. Last year, they finally placed in the top half of a tournament, so let's see if that trend continues. Oh, but what about the G-Force tournament? Doesn't that count for anything? No, it doesn't. You can't even blame one event or member for this. It was just all bad. Maybe blame the coach? Or maybe just blame the league for forcing us to watch you while we try to see teams who actually have a chance at doing something. Oh yeah, the Blackjacks were in qualifiers. Honestly, the best thing to come from this team since their return was this meme calling them the Jack Blacks. I guess there's just not enough film to really talk about them. They had a strong showing last year in the showdown, but couldn't recapture that same success when it mattered. Huh, sounds familiar. Marbula 1 wasn't the worst for them, but anyone could see that it didn't translate well. Heart and Club struggled in their solo events. Club took dead last in sprint, and Heart couldn't do enough in the funnels since they would basically have needed to win and 6 teams pull a 2020 leap to even have a chance. This was the group of death after all, and you got folded like a house of cards. There we go. There's my pun for the spit. I'll just wait until the showdown to see if I can truly mock you or not. Ah yes, this team. They exist, and now they exist back in the showdown. Last year was bad enough getting teabagged by the Balls of Chaos by way of a tiebreaker. This year they got teabagged by their whole goddamn group. Last year you could at least argue point structure or something. You don't have a leg to stand on this go around. This was just a sloppy showing through and through. Bingo bowed out early in funnels, and damn near everyone on your whole damn team went into the zilch bin and swing wave. The Stars are just a team that disappoints. They're like actual stars in the sky. They've been dead for a million years. Even when they do qualify, they finish bottom 4 of the league. Go and wish upon yourselves that we see you return to the main league sometime this decade. You hear that? That's the sound of the JMA not inviting the Stars to Marbula 1 for the next 5 years. This one was surprising in that I think the Purple Rockets did better than what most people predicted. Saucer took second in sprint while the whole team did mid and swing wave, but the nail in the coffin was team captain Orbit failing to launch in funnels and taking dead last by 4 seconds. I know knee-jerk demotion and promotion only ends poorly, but you might want to look into this. Or maybe just don't put Orbit in the funnels. The Rockets, in a shock to no one, are in another showdown. At least you're not the worst purple space team, so you got that going for you. Welcome back to the Showdown Sliders. I don't need to show you around. You know this place way better than I do. It really felt like this was going to be the year they made it. They let us build a false sense of hope by getting the fastest time in pursuit, and then reminded us that they are in fact the Turtle Sliders. Crush moving at a tortoise pace started the downfall. Of course, a fat goose egg and swing wave and Shelly flopping in the funnels doesn't help your case either. The long wait for the Sliders to qualify continues for another year at the least and forever at the most. It's gonna be forever, isn't it? Can we all agree now that knee-jerking a reserve to captaincy after one solid-ish year is pointless? All of that hype and build-up for nothing except the disappointing bout against teams you should have easily beaten. Arab started off their time at the helm by leading their team to dead last in pursuit and 15th in sprint. Wasn't speed the reason Arab got the job in the first place? The worst part about you tripping over your non-existent feet is the fact that Arab is still the best member on your team. You're badly. You can only play Captain Carousel with your members for so long before you realize the problem is higher up. You need to fire secondary, and you need to do it months ago. I think Tide is still out there somewhere. Doubt it could go any worse than what's been happening. Yeah, this surprises me none. Really, none of the Group B unqualified teams shock me. I feel the Wolfpack will be a slow burn team, as opposed to other teams who have just gone lukewarm. Just take solace in the fact that you didn't take dead last in anything. Fenrir held their own in the sprint, and Sirius did pretty solid in the funnels. The team events were where they struggled. I have high hopes for them in the showdown in that I don't think they'll get relegated. And I just jinxed them, of course. So much for a Hablino reunion in the Marble League. As much as I wanted the Minty Maniac streak to continue, I knew that after the previous 2 years they were just gonna keep going downhill. There's really not a whole lot to go over here, this was just a sad showing. Minty Fresh going stale in sprint along with the rest of your performances being mid got you going in the wrong direction. All you did was give more momentum to the 3rd place curse. Congrats. The Chocolatiers are just like the new Timothy Chalamet Willy Wonka. Unwatchable. This latest embarrassment has been years in the making with poor showings in the previous Marble League and the last 2 Marbula 1 seasons. They turned into pudding at everything they did, resulting in just 9 points. This doesn't even tell the full story. Chalk's light jog in the 5-meter sprint almost set a new anti-record for the event. Then Mocha forgot how to funnel and your whole team forgot how to swing wave to finish 10 points behind 11th. This is a disaster. You've been fondue for the last 4 years with no end in sight. The worst part? You'll still probably be an M1 instead of the Stars because the league just hates them. My gut feeling says you'll continue this downward spiral into relegation, but maybe that's just me hoping. Cause seriously, there are so many teams who could get relegated. This was not a qualifiers for green teams, except for Team Momo. Team Momo 2023 champs incoming.
Team Momo's the best team because
Thank you for not making me learn any more Hebrew. I yearn for the day where I can just reuse my graphic from the rooting video in this one, but hey, 8 out of 12 ain't bad. Among some of the shock entries for the main league include the Snowballs, who qualified for the first time ever. The Rojo Rollers made it back, which ruins the alternating pattern of the bees and rollers in the main show. But at least we'll get to see them in the same place at the same time. And of course, Team Plasma became the first and only of the new teams to qualify. They won the showdown in epic fashion and then took first in their group in the following qualifiers. Guess it ain't that hard after all. As for these 12 teams, in the wise words of Mahatma Gandhi, ice up, son. I don't actually think he said that. You'll join the 4 auto-relegated teams in the showdown. 16 will compete, 4 won't make it out. So I'm gonna go with an all-green bottom 4 in hopes that I unjinx the Ducks. Let's see how this ages after the showdown. Make sure you like and subscribe, and merch, we have 'em made, and the spoopy. I'll be live after every event for sensible analysis, so I'll see you then. Ciao.